Well, welcome everyone to the Foundation for Cancer Care's webinar on cancer survivorship, healthy living. My name is Amanda and I work with the Foundation for Cancer Care. I'm its programs officer. We're thrilled to have you here today to discuss this important topic, and we hope it's an interactive and engaging session for everyone who is attending. Our speaker will share valuable information and resources about cancer and all that comes with it when it comes to nutrition and healthy living. And we'll be discussing also practical solutions that you can incorporate into your daily life as well. So we'll go into the rules for today's session. Kindly ensure that your mic is muted. If you have a question, you can either raise your hand when the session is over, or you can, send your questions into the chat room. Once our speaker is done, we will attend to the questions. So we have a short talk from Cherise, who is our speaker, after which we'll go into the question and answer session. Then we'll conclude and, talk before we leave. So why are we doing this? Why did we organize this webinar in the first place? First of all, we'd like to provide cancer survivors and their caregivers with the information and resources to support healthy living during and after cancer treatment, and would also like to promote healthy lifestyle choices that can improve the quality of life for cancer survivors and to raise awareness about the importance of healthy living in cancer survivorship. So now I'll be introducing our speaker, Mrs. Cherise Ijewere. I will give a short bio about her. Mrs. Cherise Ijewere is the founder and CEO of Carb Health Limited, a health, wellness, and nutrition organization in Ikoyi, Lagos. She is a professional consultant in the field of nutrition. She graduated from the University of South Tampa, Florida, and is clinically trained with 18 years experience and practice in medical nutrition and therapies. Mrs. Cherise has numerous media engagements. She has written several health and nutrition columns for This Day magazine, Guardian Life, as well as other magazines such as Woman Leader, Parenting Magazine. She is also, or has also been, a co-host of a weekly radio series known as Wellness Half Hour on Inspiration 92.3 FM, as well as other media guest appearances on other radio stations and TV shows as well. Mrs. Cherise consults for a number of medical facilities, including First Cardiologist Consultant, Eurocare Multi-Specialist Hospital, Premier Specialist Hospital, and Nutrition Hospital Ikoyi. Carb Health Nutrition Consultant helps clients improve their health, reducing disease burden from obesity, diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, fatty liver disease, heart disease, and other health conditions. In addition to this, Cherise is trained and certified in the area of biotic nutrition, plant-based nutrition, and is also a gut health professional. She's a member of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, the American Society of Nutrition, and Society of Lifestyle in Nigeria. She hails from Jamaica and is blessed with a wonderful Nigerian husband and 4 loving children. So kindly welcome Mrs. Cherise as she goes into her session now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Quite excited and honored to be here. Thank you so much, Amanda. Certainly, you're going to learn lots. So I do hope you have your pen, you have your paper, so you can take notes. So without much ado, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Give me just a moment. Are we all seeing the screen?
Yes, it's clear from my end.
Okay, great. Just give me one moment. Okay. All right. So today we're talking about healthy living and, of course, the best practices for a healthy lifestyle, especially if you are surviving cancer. Now, we're all on the journey to wellness. Those of us who are aware of our journey. So those of us who are aware that, okay, we're in that stage of we want to be well, we want to be healthy. We're on that zoning our consciousness, our mindset, all towards wellness. Not everyone is in this space. So when you're in this space, it's good that you are able to recognize certain things, be deliberate, be intentional, not wait until you're sick and then you're looking for the arrow towards wellness. So best practices for a healthy lifestyle during and after cancer treatments. Now, one of the things that I want to bring to your attention, because many people, when it comes to wellness, they are mainly thinking of, oh, the foods that they're eating, but wellness encompasses more than just what you're putting in the body. So I want you to write down and look at this wellness tree. It's called a wellness tree. You can take a picture of it with your phone. On this wellness tree at the bottom it has many roots, but we have 5 labeled roots. We have spirituality, we have mindset, nutrition, lifestyle, and environment. And these 5 roots are what will guide you towards your wellness. When there is imbalance in these 5 roots, that's when illness starts to show up. And the illness can manifest as cancer, it can manifest as arthritis, it can manifest as liver disease, kidney disease, autoimmune disorders. But our goal solely is to really get towards wellness. So what I want you to do is just imagine that this tree is your body. And so your feet and roots are planted in the ground, but they must be balanced. So in the example of the first pillar, the first root, spirituality, are you a forgiving person? Are you someone that gets offended easily? If maybe you're in a conversation or maybe just in general government issues, one thing or the other, you're offended, you're not taking things so well, that's something for you to work on. Maybe look inwards. Is this something that affects you directly? Even if it affects you directly, can you find that peace of mind to let things go? Because otherwise, when it comes to things such as unforgiveness, or your mind or your peace is just unsettled, it also causes a lot of hormone disruption in the body. You know, when you're upset or you see certain people or things are off track, there's a feeling that you get inside. And so there's a lot of chemical reactions that are constantly going on in the body. There are lots of hormonal changes that are constantly going on in the body, especially if you are predisposed to cancer or if you have any ailments going on. So finding a peace is the best healing method. The second root of wellness is mindset. So one is, how have we programmed our mind? And in terms of our topic today, cancer, best practices, being healthy, lifestyle, I know you're here because you want to gain wisdom, gain knowledge, practice these different tips. Your mindset has to be one of a growth mindset. People who feel that, oh, well, I know it all, or this can't help, or how can this, that means they're in a fixed mindset. So a growth mindset is open. They're willing to learn. They're willing to do some research, and have others also help them. And then also in terms of whether it's food or whether it's relatives or whatever situation you're in under your mindset, you want to be in that place of acceptance, that place of reasoning, that place of positivity, that place of being objective, especially if it comes to, okay, an example of you going to the market, and maybe going to the market, you are thinking that, okay, I want to prepare a soup, I want to prepare a dish that is healthy for me. Does healthy mean it's expensive? So how do you have your mind programmed? Do you think that eating healthy is expensive? Do you think that eating healthy is going out of your way? So programming the mind in a positive way that will help to impact your health is what we're focused on today. Our third aspect, of course, is nutrition, and I'll get into that much later, lifestyle and environment. So just want to make sure we're all on the same page, where everyone is hearing well. I'm not speaking to myself. I just want to, if you can just give a signal that we're all together before I move on. We're all okay?
We're good, Mrs. Cherise.
Okay, super. All right, super. So now we're moving on to nutrition as self-care. And as a nutritionist, you know, many patients will think, okay, we're just going to talk about food, but today I'm going to mix it up a bit. We're going to start from the bottom up. So we mentioned earlier that there are 5 roots to wellness, and these are the roots that you really want to hold as close to your heart as possible. The spirituality, mindset, nutrition, lifestyle, and environment. We are going to start with environment. So whether you have cancer, whether you're surviving, whether you know someone and you're taking care of someone who has cancer, all these pillars of wellness applies to you and much more. So the 5th pillar of wellness, environment. Your environment counts a lot, and this is nutrition as self-care. So everything in your environment also is constituted as your nutrition for being well. Your environment, it's important that it's with lots of fresh air, plants, and these are plants that actually clean the air. So if you have a loved one that's not feeling fine, they're in the home, they can't really go outside, you bring the outside inside to them. So you can bring in your snake plant, which is also known as a mother-in-law's tongue. That's on the left side, the tall plant with the yellow on the edge. That's the snake plant. It's excellent in cleaning the air. You can also bring in the fern. Fern also helps to clean the air, disinfect the air as well. And these plants just give a lot of oxygen to the room. So if you are a patient, if you're the caregiver, even you as the caregiver, having a moment to sit down to inhale, you know, deep breathing also helps to supply oxygen to the cells, and this is something that helps in the healing process. It's also very peaceful for the patients. This is nature, and yes, nature is healing. So environment is important. Sunshine is also very, very important. Sunshine, of course, improves your mood. It helps your immune system. Many cancer patients and those who have other ailments or yet to have ailments, when you check their vitamin profile, many of them are deficient in vitamin D. So vitamin D comes from the sunshine. It's important that you're getting a dose of this daily. And if you're not, certainly make sure that your provider does your blood test just to see where your vitamin D levels are. And if it is insufficient, then they're able to supplement it, because this is something that helps the metabolism. It helps with healing the body. It helps with improving your sleep. It helps with improving your gut health. And it just helps with your overall wellness. So there's so much that vitamin D does for the body. So sunshine is important. Going outside in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Believe it or not, we have many people who are just day-to-day workers who are vitamin D deficient. And so eventually, yeah, they end up with a low immune system. And for some of them, they end up with autoimmune disorders. So it plays a huge role. The fourth root of wellness is lifestyle. So lifestyle, under lifestyle, we have sleep. And of course, I know that your doctors have mentioned so many times, remember, this is practices for healthy lifestyle, especially if you're surviving cancer or going through cancer, is that you need a lot of rest. One can't cheat nature. So even if you're well and you're staying up till 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, that's trying to cheat to nature and maybe try and wake up a little bit later. Your body has its own circadian rhythm, which is important for resting, important for sleeping. Your body provides its melatonin levels, especially when you're resting. So ensuring that you have enough sleep is important, ensuring that you're going to bed on time. So one is making sure you have a schedule. You're doing your exercising, you're trying to walk much more. And these are tips for a better night's sleep if you're not sleeping well. It may be that you need to put your phone away for some time because that also drains your energy. It can also cause you to be fatigued, which can prevent you from sleeping well. And then, of course, ensuring that you go to bed at a reasonable time. So sleep is very crucial in the healing process, especially if you're going through any type of treatment. I mentioned exercise, and a lot of times cancer patients don't have the energy to exercise, but there is that energy where you can do your deep breathing, and deep breathing just takes a little bit of practice. And I'll show you shortly within a couple slides how to do the deep breathing. But stretching is important in the morning, just that morning sunshine when you wake up, drinking your water, building good habits. And as I mentioned, once you're able to sleep well, wake up in the morning, have your water at your bedside, or maybe your tea at your bedside. Having a routine matters. So even if you're not well, the body will still follow the routine. And it's those routines that will eventually lead to wellness. We're not asking you to do backflips in the exercise, but simple stretching, walking, even massage therapy works, but making sure that you're moving the body so that circulation is free and happens throughout the day. Now, when it comes to deep breathing, the deep breathing, as I mentioned earlier, is quite important for healing the body. So I want you to, if you're sitting down, to just sit up, comfortable on a chair, put your back straight, and then use your left hand on your stomach. Take your left hand, put on your stomach, and put your right hand on your chest. And this is just teaching you some deep breathing techniques. You're going to inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, you can also take a picture of this so that you can remember. And if you're a caregiver on this session today, you can practice this with your patient. So breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And this is something that helps with relaxation as well. When you're going to inhale as before, and then as you continue inhaling, you inhale into your upper chest. So take a deep breath into your upper chest, and you will feel that your right hand will be elevated a bit. So inhale, and then exhale through your mouth. And you're exhaling slowly. As you exhale, you can make kind of like a swooshing sound, like almost like the wind. So inhale and exhale. And on your left hand, you can feel the diaphragm moving up and down. So this is something that can be practiced daily. As you wake up or as you're helping your patient, you are sitting them up in bed, just being really gentle, mindful, patient, and helping them in this breathing technique, which will give them energy to their cells. The body is going through a lot, and so it needs a lot of oxygenation. Okay, now we're going to move to my favorite part, which is nutrition. Now, at this juncture, I will say, what decision do we make? And this is a personal question to yourself. When you are thinking of food, when you are planning to eat food, are you going towards the foods on the right, or are you going towards the foods on the left? Innately, many of us know that the foods on the right are the foods that are the healing foods, but somehow the foods on the left, sometimes we get called to it as well. And the foods on the left robs the body of energy. It causes a lot of inflammation, and it causes a lot of deficiencies. So we're going to go into talking about food, okay? Now, we have our macronutrients and our micronutrients. The macronutrients are your carbs, your fats, your proteins, and the macronutrients on the carb section are things like your potatoes, your yams, your cocoa yam, plantain, things such as those, your whole grains, your acha, your tamba. When it comes to food, you want to focus in on your local foods. We're not trying to send you over to China or to Malaysia to go and get their foods. We're focusing on our Nigerian foods that are readily available and that can give our body tons of nutrients. The micronutrients, of course, your vitamins, your minerals, these things are many times they're fresh, they're in season. So whatever is in season at the time. Right now, what we have in season is your mangoes, we have pawpaws in season, watermelon, oranges. Whatever is in season is what your body needs most of at this time. So if you're going through if you're going through any type of chemotherapy or radiation therapy, your body needs these micronutrients and macronutrients in order to help with the healing process. You want to also ensure that you're not overcooking your micronutrients, because if you overcook them, then of course they won't be available for the body to take in and heal the body. On these macro and micronutrients, being a nutritionist and tending to many cancer patients, one thing I know is that a schedule helps. Sometimes you don't have the taste buds or you don't have an appetite to eat anything, but if you have a meal plan with easy digestible foods, the body is able to take in, it's able to digest and give you a bit of energy so you can carry on to the next day. So ensuring that things are not overcooked, ensuring that you have a meal plan, foods that you liked prior or foods that can easily digest, that's what's going to serve you well. When it comes to foods that are easily digestible, we're also talking about your herbs and spices, things that are natural, things that also help the healing process. So things like your cloves, pimento, your cayenne peppers, your garlic, your ginger, these can either be in powder form, it can be in just the crushed wholesome form. One thing is that it must either be dried or it must be fresh, so that yes, you deserve a bit of natural seasoning. We're not talking about the commercial seasonings that are out there, because those commercial seasonings also cause havoc to the body. So natural seasonings is what I am recommended when it comes to micronutrients and getting what the body needs. Now, your immune system, just to talk a bit about this, your immune system lies in your gut health. 70 to 80% of your immune system is located in your gut. And this means how you look at food, how it digests in the body is how it's going to heal the body. So we're eating food to reduce inflammation, to help with the healing process, to also make sure that it's decreasing any type of infection that could be there, and to give your body the maximum healing that it deserves. So as you're eating, digestion starts from the mouth. You're ensuring that you're chewing your foods well. For those of you on this call that are caregivers, you can't expect your patient to eat the same way that you're eating. And with that being said, that means that you're not giving your patient or yourself oily food. If you're the cancer patient or the survivor, oily food is a big no-no. That doesn't digest well in the system. Foods that are highly processed, like breads, biscuits, that doesn't digest well in the system, and it's not healing for the body. Instead, it causes inflammation to the body. So ensuring that you are giving your body foods that increase your immune system and helps you to fight off ailments. That's what we want, improving your immune response. So I just explained mindful eating, eating with intention. Of course, you're paying attention for the effects that food has on the body, and you're ensuring that you're chewing your foods very well. Digestion starts in the mouth. That's where the enzymes are. You can blend your meals. So if you find that you don't have an appetite, or maybe your patient doesn't have much of an appetite, they can't really chew yam well, or maybe they can't chew the plantain well, things can be blended for them. So just make it as appealing as possible. And of course, tasty with the natural herbs and spices. A colorful plate is excellent. So you want to make sure you're getting your fats in, your avocado, your walnut, your proteins are important. So the different types of beans, not just sticking with things like your honey beans, the one thing that you know, there are many other variety of beans, red beans, black beans, white beans, and this is where you can get a lot of protein from. If you find that you're having a lot of gas from beans, definitely I recommend that you soak it overnight. You can also just ensure that you're preparing these beans very soft so that they'll digest well, and always pair your beans with things such as vegetables. It also helps the digestive process. Okay. Now, ways to make self-care a part of every meal. I mentioned earlier that it's important that you create a routine, you create a habit. So in creating a routine, this means that you will do just about some basic things every day. Your water by your bedside from the night before. When you have your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, you will have lots of vegetables. The vegetables can be blended as a smoothie, or maybe they can be cut quite small so that you're able to chew it well. You're using your herbs and spices. Those things that are not serving your body well, you completely take it out the kitchen. That means the cube seasonings, those commercial seasonings, you take it out and you bring in the natural herbs and spices. You're also making sure that you're going to the toilet daily. And in order to do this, this is incorporating your fruits and vegetables. And then, of course, having a variety. So if you're going through cancer treatment now, avoid eating the same things day in and day out. You want to have variety so that those micronutrients are getting to all the cells, those vitamins, those minerals are serving you well and getting to all the cells. And then, of course, making sure that you avoid any added sugars. Definitely, we say to meal plan, shop ahead, stick to a schedule, ensure that you're hydrating well and that you are going to bed on time. I'm going to quickly run through some examples of some food swaps because I know sometimes people are curious as to, okay, can I eat this? Can I eat that? Now, if you're having trouble with water, because there are some people after their cancer treatment, they don't have a taste for water, or maybe water feels funny in their mouth. We recommend that you go ahead and eat your water, and that's with your high water fruits. Things like your watermelon, your cucumber, your bell peppers, all of these has tons of micronutrients. Your selenium, your zinc, your vitamin C, all of these are in things like your fruits and your vegetables. So these can also be, the broccoli can be blended into a smoothie. The celery can be juiced. So if you're unable to chew these well, you can always juice them. Some proactive food swaps. I know sometimes the doctors will say, eat what you want, but truly you want to eat as healthy as possible. So stay closer to things like your fish, your free-range chicken or organic chicken. Leave the processed meats alone. The processed meats do have a lot of chemical additives to it. They're very high in sodium, very high in nitrites, which are not good for the body. If you are out, if you're at home, have fruits readily available. That's what will serve your cells much better. Whether it's the pawpaw, whether it's the watermelon, whether it's the pineapple, you want to avoid any type of biscuits, any type of flour, inflammatory foods. Okay. And then, of course, I mentioned about water, drinking your water. Those of you who have issues with consuming water, you can always infuse it with lemon, cucumbers, oranges, strawberries, mint, scent leaf. You can put these things into your water so for easier consumption. Now, there are certain supplements that are also quite good. One helps with your energy level, especially if you're going through treatment. These are natural supplements. I'm sure you've heard of mushroom powder, spirulina. These are things that help to support the immune system. We also have things such as making sure that when you wake up in the morning, you have your bath. If it is that you wanted to do something like a facial, make sure that you're reading your ingredients. Spirulina that I mentioned on this page, whatever it is that you're consuming, you should be able to also put it on your skin. If you're putting something on your skin, you should be able to consume it. So my point in this diagram is just showing you that whatever it is that you are purchasing, make sure that you're reading your ingredients and that it's safe for you. Okay, spirulina is an algae that just helps to improve the immune system. So this can also be used as a mask. And then, as you know, shea butter is one of those things that, yes, can be eaten, but you put it on your skin, it moisturizes your skin, it gives you vitamin E, it gives you a lot of hydration to the skin as well. So using natural products on the body serves you well. Now, journey to healthy eating also prevents disease. So whether you're the caretaker or whether you're the patient, it's not eating just because you have an ailment, but the journey of wellness is continuous. So you're on that continuous journey towards wellness, eating the organic fruits and vegetables, eating the organic chicken, eating high fiber foods, just avoiding processed foods and ensuring that you're drinking lots of water. And then also, before I round up, to say that one size does not fit all. So maybe your friend Bumi decided that she was following a meal plan and things worked out for her. It doesn't mean that if you follow Bumi's meal plan, that same thing will work out for you. So each of you are individualistic. And when you come to Carib Health or you need a meal plan from one of our nutritionists, we do customize meal plans based on your age, based on your lifestyle, based on your treatment, what you're going through, what your blood work looks like. So if at this point you feel that, or you know that your blood work is saying that you're anemic, maybe you're having some nutrient deficiencies, one of the things that we look at is what foods are you eating? What foods are you not eating? Because sometimes it's those foods that you're not eating that's also causing issues or havoc into the body. Okay. Part of the services that we provide at Carib Health and the Nutrition Hospital is nutrition and medical consultations. We help with a lot of mind-body therapies, and a lot of other holistic therapies to help you through your treatments. So thank you all for having me today speak on practices for lifestyle and healthy living, and I welcome your comments and questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Cherise, for that wonderful and impacting session. I gained a lot myself. I jotted a lot of stuff, and I enjoyed the deep breathing session. It was really, really relaxing. I'm sure from now on, I will try to do that every morning before going out. So now we'll be taking questions or comments. Kindly drop your comments in the chat room, or you can ask right away.
I did see a hand up. I think Doyen's hand was up earlier. Maybe I've missed that. Oh, thank you, Doyen.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for the excellent presentation. Actually, I wanted to clap, then my hands went up in error. But again, can we get the slide, like a copy of the slide, just to look through, because I didn't start from the beginning, so that I'll then be able to go back and look at what you presented.
Okay, no problem. That's fine. That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you, Doi. We have a question in the chat room from Mrs. Ngozi. She's asking if your services can be accessed via HMOs.
It can, and it's only when I'm at Uracare Hospital. So if your HMO covers Uracare, then certainly I can see you at that hospital for nutrition services. Yes.
Great. So our next question or comment is from Mrs. Neka. She says, "Thank you, Cherise. I was told that because of the low immunity of cancer patients, there are concerns with eating uncooked food such as fruits. Sorry, I got that wrong. So she's asking, do fruits and vegetables fall into the category of uncooked foods?"
Okay, that's a good question, Neka. So yes, certainly the low immunity of cancer patients, one has to be careful with certain foods. When it comes to fruits and vegetables, ensuring that things are washed thoroughly. So you can wash with salt. You can, just make sure that you are sterilizing your fruits and vegetables quite well. Certainly when it comes to things like juicing, washing your vegetables well and juicing them should not be a problem. And then of course, things such as your carrots, your pawpaw, I mean, those things just can't be cooked. So if you're talking about your vegetables like your broccoli, your cauliflower, that's understandable. You just need to make sure it's washed well, lightly steamed. It should not submerge itself in water. So wash well and then steam so that, yes, your patient can eat it. Many of these fruits and vegetables are actually more potent in its raw form. So for example, something like your tomatoes, your cucumbers, your garden egg, these things can be washed well and then blended in or sauteed very lightly.
Okay. Hope your question has been answered, Mrs. Neka. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, Amanda, I also want to just mention, because I do know many cancer patients, their relatives will say, okay, let's drink a lot of bitter leaf, let's drink a lot of ugu, the malaba spinach. Some of these, there is a ratio to them. So you just want to make sure you're not over concentrating things to the patient so that they don't get diarrhea. So working with a nutritionist would help a lot. And then ensuring that you're mixing the right greens with the right foods is also quite crucial.
Thank you for that important comment, because like here in Africa, we tend towards herbal remedies such as those you mentioned. So taking them in the right proportion is very, very important as well. We have another question from Mrs. Virginia, and she's asking, she would like to know if dairy products are a no-no for cancer patients.
Yeah, Virginia, that is a great question. Dairy products, I will say that they are highly inflammatory. So if we are talking about milk, usually I have cancer patients come off of milk immediately, because that's one of the things that, one, you don't know what the source of that cow has been fed, what antibiotics they've been given, what injections they've been given in general. So just coming off of the dairy products because it causes inflammation, and instead switching to something like a nut-based milk. So if you take oatmeal, you want to put milk inside your oatmeal, then you would either switch to tiger nut milk or maybe almond milk. And if it's possible for you to make this yourself, that's even better. So that way you know exactly what you're putting in the food. Yeah.
Great, that's very interesting. I never knew that. I learned something new again today. Thank you for that. We have another question from Udwak, and she's asking, for people who can't see you at Eurocare, which other possible way can you work?
Oh, okay. Yes, I work from other hospitals, First Cardiology, the Nutrition Hospital. The Nutrition Hospital, we don't accept insurance, so that would be paying out of pocket. But I do know for some insurance companies, you pay out of pocket and we give you the receipt and they may reimburse you. So there are some insurance companies that will reimburse their clients.
Okay.
And
will
the other option is to do
okay.
a virtual consultation. So that's also optional.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Dr. Oge had her hand raised earlier. Dr.
Okay.
Oge.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much. Hello, Cherise, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. That was an amazing session. Honestly, I was snapping away and
Oh,
trying to
good, good.
get people on. Um, I think one of the questions I actually wanted to ask, you already answered, which is about the dairy replacement. If you take away the dairy, we still know that you need the calcium. So I think you already gave the alternative. The other thing I just wanted to ask, sometimes when patients are going through chemotherapy or are just really flat from the cancer, and actually happens with even people who are unwell. It doesn't have to be cancer. You find that they start craving something that might not fit into the healthy, you know, the healthy group. I know friends who will say, "Oh, the only thing I need now is something cold." So they want something like a ice cream, maybe because they've got sores in their mouth, or they want something else. You are right in it. What would you advise in that situation?
Yes, I would advise, especially for example, with the ice cream, that maybe in the whole meal prepping and just knowing that, okay, this patient does have some sores or some uncomfortable things in their mouth, one could make an avocado ice cream. So it's just having those recipes ahead of time or those options ahead of time, so you know that there is a better alternative. Because after they take the ice cream, just for that moment, they're okay. And then within the next 30 minutes, things can start to not feel so great anymore. You understand what I'm saying? So for that moment, you're feeling
Yes.
fine. And then, yeah, in about 30 minutes to an hour, your energy starts to be depleted. You're not feeling as great as before. So just having the options ahead of time that, okay, we can make an avocado ice cream. We can put some popsicles into the fridge ahead of time. Maybe it's watermelon ice pops. So just having those things ahead and the options ahead so that we can offer it to the patient.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Oge.
Thank you, Dr. Oge. Thank you, Cherise. Do we have any more questions before we wrap up the session?
Okay, I see that Neka has a question. Is it bad to keep eating the same thing, especially if that's what appeals to the patient? Well, I don't want to say anything is bad, but I will say the better option is that there is variety in the diet. So just having the different fruits. I mean, mango is in season now. It can be prepared in different ways. If there's a certain soup that you like, that's fine, but putting different leaves in the soup. So if it's that you like obono, or maybe you like maybe oha soup, and you just don't want to have the same thing all the time. Otherwise, the body is just receiving the same nutrients, even though it needs 10 times more of different things. So being creative in preparing different dishes also helps. And that also helps to keep the patient a bit expectant, a bit motivated that, okay, let's see what's coming today. Yeah, because I do know that the taste buds can just switch. This morning you're feeling like this, and this afternoon you don't even want to see that food near you. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, Cynthia, you have a question?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Cerise. Working with a lot of patients with cancer and the fighting that they're going through, especially during chemotherapy. Some of them have loss of appetite. And that's a big problem that we go through every day. So if they're craving or they want, because I know so many times I've spoken to Dr. Jimo, and we always advise the patient, if that's the only thing around you that you're craving for, you're allowed to have it, even if it's milk or a dairy product, because they come very malnourished, they've lost a lot of weight, and because they are going in through Google, reading up everything to stay away from all the food, practically everything, no rice, no bread, no this. So is there any advice or something that you can touch on, that if that's what they have at that time, they can have it, if that's going to make them feel better? Because nobody says that it's at the end it's going to cause any problem. If it does, then we know to stay away from it. But if it gives them that satisfaction, being that they are malnourished, is that okay for them to have whatever is available at that time that they're craving for? They're going through so much already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nurse Cynthia, thank you. I do appreciate your question. One of the things that I do recommend and highly suggest is that when patients come in, that a thorough nutrition assessment is done. So at least the patient themselves know that, okay, this is the state that I'm in. Yes, I'm not feeling well or so forth, but an option of a menu is given to them that goes with their lifestyle, some of what they're going through, just helping them with giving them options. I do hear you, Cynthia, about them not being able to take anything else, and so that's the only thing. I mean, yeah, that would be their choice at that moment. But if they have options on a meal plan, maybe they're able to have, you know, kind of just like a better view on, okay, well, let me try and see if this works. Because many times people are just locked into the one food. And before you know it, that one food is causing more deficiencies than even helping them with their energy levels.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cherise.
Okay, thanks, Cynthia.
Okay, great. So we'll be taking the last question now before we wrap up the session. We have a question from Bindia in the chat room. She's asking, okay, it's a comment before a question. So she says, there's a lot of noise about removing sugar completely from your diet to stop the cancer, and the cancer, as cancer thrives on sugars. So what are your thoughts? So she's saying people say cancer thrives on sugar. So should people starve themselves completely of sugar?
Okay, now remember we address things on an individual level. So one is to look at what the patient is eating, what they've been eating over the years, what could have contributed. And then just noting that we're taking out all those processed foods, because when we look at sugars, if we're talking about natural sugars, there natural sugars in your fruits, in your vegetables. Remember, whatever you eat also digests into different micro and macronutrients. So looking at the entire picture is important, what the patient is eating, so that we're able to advise them on what they need to cut down on or what they need to eliminate entirely.
Okay, thank you, Cherise. Bindi, I hope that has answered your question. Hopefully it has.
Amanda,
Okay, Dr.
Cherise, is it all right to ask a very quick question?
Yes, Dr. Okay.
Okay, so this is sort of non-specific. It's not just for cancer patients, but to be honest, this presentation is for everyone. And I wanted to find out from you, from your experience and very wide experience, what would you say is the greatest challenge for most people when it comes to modifying their nutrition and just generally modifying their lifestyles, especially in our environment? As a general practitioner, we speak to people. I keep referring people to contact you. It doesn't always work out the way we want. And again, even on a personal level, I'm human as well. And it's a struggle. What do you think, from your experience, is the greatest challenge? And what would you say other people have actually done to try and overcome those challenges? Because, we have quite a few people here and maybe it might help someone. Certainly will help me. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Dr. Oge. Thank you for that question. Yes, one of the greatest challenges we have is mindset. So depending on how you come into the consultation, what are your expectations? Do you have a fixed mindset where you're thinking, is this nutritionist about to tell me to eat all what I want, or are they about to tell me to cut out all these things that they think is the good food? So mindset is important. Building good habits, as I mentioned into the presentation. So having a routine, understanding how food plays a role in your body, understanding that food is medicine for your body. So you're not just eating food mindlessly, but you're eating food intentionally. So you're eating food to care for your body itself, for energy, for your skin, for your immunity. You're eating food for quality of life. You're eating food not just for today, but for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. So what are the building blocks that you're giving your body now that's setting you up for the future? An example that I will share is, just to close off, is right now we have young children that are less than age 18, and they have developed early childhood diabetes. And one of the reasons for this is the foods that they're eating. We have a lot of fast foods on the corners. Many of these children no longer think of our native foods as foods that is satisfying for them or foods that they know. What they know now is quickly go and get the Domino's, quickly get the Pizza Huts, and then after eating it within an hour, maybe even 30 minutes, they're now hungry. They're reaching for the next snack or the next food. These children, as I said, who have early onset diabetes, in the next 10 years, are they going to still be alive? What will be their quality of life at that time? We have people who because of their eating habits now, some of them have many different issues or different ailments that are coming up at an earlier stage. So helping our patients with the mindset of the foods that you're eating is helping you for tomorrow, for the next couple of years. It's helping you with quality of life. It's helping you with endurance, with memory. So if you look at it in that aspect, it helps you to just be more focused on foods that are building your health, rather than foods that are tearing down your health or destroying the health. So I hope that answered your question, Dr. Oge, or helped give you some motivation.
Yes. Thank you.
A reminder as well that, remember, it's not just about food, but the pillars of wellness, the roots of wellness, where you're taking in your lifestyle in consideration, your exercise, your sleeping habits, going out for a bit of sun, a bit of sunshine, taking that time out to do your deep breathing, your meditation, all has to be part of a routine that is intentional and deliberate.
Can I
That's a
just say
wonderful
one thing
summary.
before we
Thank you.
close up?
Okay, Nurse Cynthia.
Yes. Yeah. just wanted to say thank you so much, Cherise, for all your advice and all the teaching. And to touch on what Dr. Oge said, honestly, I think culture, association, availability of food has a lot to do with what Dr. Oge was saying, because I look at myself, because I am here now in Canada just for a short period. My diet kind of changed. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I see myself into more salads because it's all available. It's easier, but then the fast food is there too. When you're lazy, you want to go and grab something. But then when I'm at Lakeshore, when I'm in Nigeria, in the morning, I join everybody else. If they're eating rice in the morning, I don't even remember eating all that here now in the morning. It's something that you think about, it's lunch or it's dinner. So yeah, association, culture, your environment affects a lot of things and the mood that you're in. Just wanted to touch bases. Thank you. And the coffee is good.
All right. Thank you, Nurse Cynthia, for that addition. It's you're right, because where you are determines your diet so much. Whenever I go visiting my parents, I think I eat better than when I live alone. So like it all, plays a role. But in all, it's important for us to, have a healthy lifestyle, and we can do that by incorporating the 5 roots that Cherise told us, and that's spiritual, mindset, your nutrition, lifestyle, and your environment. So thank you once again, Cherise, for this amazing session. I know everybody has gained, even if it's just something out of the session, and we hope to, have more of this in future. So if you would like to revisit this session, the recording will be available on our YouTube channel. You can watch from there. The link will also be made available on our Instagram page and other social media pages. So you can check our website, visit our website at www.foundationforcancercare.org for information on how to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining us. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really
Thank
great.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.